Animation inside of Marvelous Designer. I'm not an animator, so I will not go into details of animation or how it works because because I'm not an expert in this area, and plus Marvelous Designer is not an animation program, but it simply has a feature for animation to play the animation, to make an animation on the garments, and this is precisely why what this animation mode does. For the presentation, we will be using one of those avatars that come with Marvelous Designer, and I'm going to go with, let's say, male A. Next thing we need to do is go into the emotion folder and in here find a emotion file that we like. And I will choose one of those emotions at random. And if we are using a custom avatar with a animation that came from another application, to load this animation, to load this motion, we need to go into File, and here go into Open and find joined motion. When we click that, we need to choose the right file that has the animation. In this case, we will use the default one of the default ones, and once we click that, we have a few options in here. We have an option to move the avatar and the garment to the start of the animation, where the start position is. And we can also choose the frames per second, and in this case we'll use everything as is and click OK. Once that is done, we can, well, let's spice him up a little bit. But the other thing, the most important thing, is to create a garment. This is why the animation here in the first place. This is not to animate the avatar, but to animate the garments. So we'll go into, again, one of the default ones that Marvelous comes with, and we press no. When we ask about the avatar, we simply want the garment. With that, we need to move everything in the right place. We want to make sure that the avatar, as we can see, this the avatar is no longer in the center of the grid. He has been moved to the starting point of the animation, so we need to make sure that the garments are aligning with the avatar as well. And with that done, we need to go into top right animation mode. When we click that, we get some warning. It's going to tell us that the simulation quality has been changed to complete for the animation. And if you don't want to see that again, simply press this little box and click OK. And this is the animation. It's kind of bare bones, but it does what it needs to do. It will simulate the garments and it will record the animation of the simulation, and this is exactly what we want. One thing about the simulation quality, this warning that appeared, we can always change the quality in here. We can always change it to something that is not so heavy on the computer, on the CPU. One thing to keep in mind, since this is version 9 of Marvelous Designer and GPU simulation has just been introduced, judging by the official manual for Marvelous, GPU is not exactly suitable for animation at this point. It will probably get better. It will surely get better because it's such a fast simulation. But for animation, it says in the manual to stay away from that at this point. So we can either choose normal or complete, or we can set it to custom, but something that for tests, for example, we can always set it to the lowest quality, which is normal, and then once we're happy, we can go to complete and then re-record everything with the good quality simulation. inside of the animation mode window itself, we can see that we still have some features, some tools from the simulation mode. For example, we can use the select mesh brush, we can use the pins, and we can use the unfold feature in here as well. And another thing to mention is that wind can also be activated during the animation. We can set it to anywhere we want, and we can use the custom keyframes. We can either activate it or deactivate it. We can use all of these features that we have in here and that we talk about in another video. And the same goes for anything inside of Marvelous that can also be either activated or deactivated. Or, for example, we can use some trims. We can load something in here. We can have, let's say, a hat, and once the wind has started to blow, we can set to hat to be deactivated from the avatar, and it will fall down. So we can do those kind of small things in here inside of the animation. It's very basic, but still it's something to something to keep in mind as well. As for the controls of the animation mode, we have the timeline, we have the layers of the animation, and we have the frames. We can use the mouse wheel to change the scale in here. We can change the units to either be seconds, or we can change it to frames. So this way it's more intuitive. And as well, we have the current frame, start frame, end frame, and all those things that any other animation program or features, the animation features inside of a 3D program has. This is very, very basic, but it gets, as I mentioned, it gets the job done. To begin the animation, to start seeing what is really happening, we need to press this little button right here, and this will begin recording. The speed of the simulation, the speed of the animation will depend on the computer that we're using. And for this case, for this example, we will not be watching the whole scene, because this will simply take too much time, but we will watch the beginning just to see what is happening.
If you enjoy this content or find it useful, please consider supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee via the link in the description.
Right, so this is powerful enough. We'll simply stop here. And if we, on the timeline, if we go all the way back, we can see what was recorded. And another thing to mention is that in here we have the custom view as well. We'll talk about it in another video. But if we are using this animation, this preview inside of Marvelous for presentation, if we don't want to have any additional lighting and, well, all of these nice and beautiful things that we can create outside of Marvelous to present our model, if we want something rough, we can always set up a custom view and save it. And in time we want to see what is really happening in the garment, but then we can want to get back to the desired view. We can use this feature. But let's watch the animation itself. So we simply press the play button and we see what is happening. Yes, this is perfectly dramatic, just like I wanted. The great thing about this feature, about animation, is that we can always switch between animation and simulation. And what this will allow us is to test the garments, if we are using this this animation for production, let's say we are to use this for film, that we record the garment animation and we see that something is wrong, something is off. In a case like this where we have the whole thing just falling off completely, we can come into simulation mode, and in here we can modify the garment. One thing to keep in mind is that the simulation mode will start right from the point where animation stopped. So before we do any kind of modification, we need to make sure that everything is set to first frame. In this state, we can go into simulation. We can see that the avatar is in fact in the T pose, and in here we can add this any kind of modification to make sure that nothing like this that we saw in the animation happens. We can add another strap. We can make those straps wider, and all of those kind of things. If we have something that is not an accessory, something that is not a bag, but perhaps a pair of pants or a t-shirt, if we see that the pants are sliding down as the avatar is walking, we can come in here into the simulation mode, and we can tighten up the garment. We can create a more tight, we can create a tighter belt or add some pins or things like that. So basically the animation is a really good way to showcase, to present how the garments how they hold, and if they are not holding well, this is how to fix them. To simply go back to the simulation. But once we are happy with the results, if we are satisfied with how the garments are behaving, how everything is holding up, and we want this simulation to take further, we want to bring it into another application and create a finalized product, something to be put on the screen in HD, with all the beautiful lighting and all of those things. What we need to do is we need to go to File, in here find Export, and down here we have the whole animation panel that we can choose for further development. So depending on the program that we're using, depending on the end result that we want, this is where we select the right option, and this is how we export the garment animation.